Hello all, in this video we will be talking about elections, the 2019 Lok Sabha elections in particular. So there are a lot of lingering questions in our minds before we go out and vote for our candidates. So that's what we are going to do, try and answer these questions. So let's get started.
So Raghavan, I keep reading in the newspapers that the world's biggest election is coming up.
Yep.
What is so special about the Indian election?
Well, Ranjani, you are right. It is a very special election because we are the world's largest democracy. We've got the world's largest electorate. So it is true. I can give you a few more facts. Maybe you'll be convinced then how special this is. Just look at the cost. Center for Media Studies in Delhi has come up with the cost for the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, and it's close to $7 billion US. That's around 50,000 crores of Indian rupees. That's how much the Election Commission is going to spend on you. Make sure that we all get a chance to vote. Now, okay, how many polling stations? The number is close to 1 million polling stations all over the country for 900 million voters. It's a huge amount, right? And why is the Election Commission coming up with this number of 1 million? This is based on the fact that the Election Commission makes sure that every voter in this country does not have to travel more than 2 kilometers in distance from their respective homes to come out and vote. But this is the effort that they are taking. The spread is unbelievable too. Since there are 1 million different polling stations, they reach far across the country. They are even in some of the most remote places like 15,000 feet above sea level in the Himalayas. And there is one particular polling station somewhere in the central part of India amidst the jungles where there's going to be just one voter. So this is the painstaking effort that the Election Commission is making. What else is there to note? Okay, very simple solutions they have come up with to avoid voter fraud. In a country like US, voter fraud still happens, not in a large extent, but to some extent, that a voter can go and put his vote in a particular booth and then can again come and vote again. There's no way of finding out. But the indelible ink that the Election Commission in India has invented, it's a small ink on your finger, and once it's applied, it never comes off for 3 months. It's simple yet very powerful. There can't be any voter fraud. There are a few other facts as well. Now the counting, you might wonder, in the US it takes 4 weeks for the final results to come. In India it's just a day. On May 23rd of 2019, they'll start counting, and by evening, you'll already know who has won the election. Now we keep hearing that the middle class of India, the educated class of India does not come and vote. It sounds a little pessimistic, but the truth is we are not so bad. If you look at the top countries in the world which go out and vote in terms of voter turnout, we're the third. Germany comes first at around 69% voter turnout, France at 68%, and India at 66%. So we are not too far. We have to make it a point to come out and vote and make sure we cross that limit. So yeah, there are a lot of amazing things that we should know about this election, and what I want to tell here is that it is your responsibility to come out and vote because the Election Commission is making a lot of effort, a lot of money is being spent on you, so don't let it go to waste. Come out and vote.
So the second question that I have in my mind is how is our election different from the one in America?
The US elections are pretty famous. I mean, everybody watches it, everybody is always tracking them. But the structure is different, though we were ruled by the British and they were too, but the structure is very, very different. If you've noticed, they always were talking about Hillary Clinton and Trump, and people are just debating as to who should come as the next president. So the voting by the general public is only between these two. You have to pick your president, so the vote is between the two of them. But somehow over the last few years, the debate and argument is all about whether it should be person A or person B as the Prime Minister of India. Like whether it's going to be Modi or Rahul Gandhi as the Prime Minister of India. But that's not how our structure is. That's not how we were meant to be. If you've noticed, and I'm sure you all have, we have 543 constituencies spread across the states of India. So the point of all this is to pick a candidate from your own constituency, and that candidate goes on to represent your constituency in the Lok Sabha. And finally, once the party is elected, they pick their prime ministerial candidate. But because of the popularity of these two, we suddenly have started talking about who should the Prime Minister be. Now, there is a very, very important debate here, whether when you go out and vote from April 11th, should you think of the larger picture and think who the Prime Minister should be and vote accordingly, or you should look at the bottom-up level. You should look at the ground and then think who your candidate from your constituency to be. I have a few points that I would like to put across and try to convince you that it should always be from the bottom up, and you should think at the constituency level and not really look at who the Prime Minister is going to be. The first point is that you are going to pick a constituent, your candidate, right? And he's going to go to the Lok Sabha and represent you. If you do not pick the right candidate, a person who's grown up here, or a person who knows how the constituency is, the problems are, the issues that you are facing in your particular constituency, how do you expect proper representation? You might pick a candidate because he belongs to a certain party so that Modi or Rahul Gandhi gets elected. But is he the right person for your constituency? You'll be surprised to know that there are many MPs, voted MPs, who have not attended the Lok Sabha sessions regularly. Their attendance is probably extremely poor. Some of them have not even spoken once in the Lok Sabha during the sessions. Some of them have not raised a single question. You can find out all about that. I'll tell you where to find data about whether your MP from your particular constituency actually spoke or attended regularly. There are websites for that. But if you're not going to pick the right candidate, knowing him, how are you going to be sure that he's going to talk on behalf of your constituency? He's going to take a decision. If a bill comes to law, say it's open in the session for discussion, what if your particular candidate doesn't even speak representing the problems that are going to come if the proper bill is going to become into a law? So make sure that you focus on the candidate and not on the prime ministerial candidate. Your constituent, who is going to get elected, who is going to represent you, that's more important. Now the other question is, assuming there is a particular candidate who has done really well, he was voted an MP and he did a brilliant job, did amazing things for your constituency, brought about great water, waste management resources, pollution levels were low, traffic management was excellent, and your overall social and health indicators in your constituency grew to amazing levels. Now just because he did well, isn't it right that we bring this person back into power when he stands in the election, irrespective of whatever party he represents? Instead, if you're going to pick your candidate based on the Prime Minister who you want, probably this person never gets voted again. Is that fair? I don't think so. So keep these things in your mind and please think from the bottom up and vote for the right candidate.
Okay, so if you're saying that the local candidate is more important than the larger picture, say the Prime Minister,
yeah.
How do I get to know about these candidates? Because most of the times it's just the well-known parties that we are aware of.
Yeah, true.
But in a constituency, most of the times there are about 8 to 10 candidates.
Right.
But how do we know about the other candidates?
Yeah.
And any other information about them?
That's very true. Probably even the educated people, even the people who have been reading the newspapers, don't actually know the exact places where you can find data about your candidates. Well, there are two particular websites which I have read a lot and I would recommend you to go and find out for yourselves. Association for Democratic Reforms. You might have seen some data points in the last few days come across various newspapers, but go to this website, adrindia.org. You can find out about all the candidates representing the 2,300 or 400 parties existing in India across all the 543 constituencies. Every candidate who's ever going to stand in these elections, you can find out about what is the wealth that they own, the assets that they have disclosed, what is the income tax that they have paid, have they paid in full, is there any liability of theirs, and more importantly, if there are any criminal cases against them, the exact sections under which they are accused of. So go, if you know your constituency, naturally you would know all the 10 or 8 or 7 candidates who are going to stand in your particular constituency. Do an individual research on this website. Find out about everything that you have to know about them and then make your choice. There is another website called PRS Legislative, which I like too. So these two websites are going to really help you out. If you want to pick a particular newspaper, what I love is the Mint newspaper, and there is a particular section called Plain Facts. So they come up with their own analyses of various local level candidates, the performance of various districts, the performance of various constituencies. You can find out all about that. And in the latest edition of adrindia.org, they have done a consumer survey where they've gone to 539 constituencies, taken the survey of close to 2 lakh voters and found out about what individual constituency really cares about in terms of issues and concerns, and how the government has done in the previous 5 years in that particular issue. So you would like to find out about this and then make a very, very educated call.
And And what if I don't like any of the candidates in my constituency? Should I sit at home and take a holiday?
Yeah, that's a question. That's a very, very important question, because you can always go and read up on all the 10 candidates in your constituency. And what if you find out that every single one of them has some criminal case? In all possibility, you might find that. So then, yeah, the solution is not to sit at home. Never do that. If I ask you whether you like something or not, would you just keep quiet? No. You're given an opportunity to speak out, right? If you like it, say you like it. If you don't, just say you don't. So this is the point, and this is the time for you to tell your grievance. There is an option for that. Until some time ago, there was no option. But now you have something called none of the above. So if there are going to be 10 particular candidates standing in an election in a constituency, you have 11th option called nota, which is none of the above. I personally have gone out to my particular constituent in Tamil Nadu and voted twice under nota. It helps because you are telling that none of the candidates is worthy of a shot. Whether it actually makes a difference, not yet. But all is not so bad, it's not so bleak, the future is going to be bright. Why I tell you that is because the states of Maharashtra and Haryana have made some massive progress. Maharashtra has said that in the assembly elections the last time around, and it will become effective, is that if you go and vote for nota, and assuming in a particular constituency, the maximum number of votes is gathered and garnered by nota. It is the maximum, right? If the next candidate gets a particular amount, because nota is the highest, all the 10 candidates or 8 candidates have to be revoked, they have to be removed from candidacy, and they'll have to recontest in the election. So the particular election stays cancelled. That's a good step, but all the 8 candidates can again stand in the next election. But Haryana has done one even better. What it has done is that if you go out and vote for nota, and nota is the maximum vote gatherer, then all the 7 or 8 candidates who are standing in that election will never be allowed to stand in the re-election again. That is the punishment for not being able to gain the confidence of the voters. In other states so far, it's still not great, because if still today nota gets the maximum number of votes, the person who comes second after nota still wins the election. But there is a lot to learn from Maharashtra and Haryana in particular, and maybe all the states one day will adopt that, and in the national level, in the Lok Sabha elections, we might have that too. So don't lose your hope. If you don't like all the candidates in your constituency, please go out and vote for nota. Don't sit at home.
Thank you, Raghav. Everything that you said was really useful. But hey, why do I need to go through all this hard work when I get hundreds of messages on all the social media platforms? Moreover, these sources are accessible even to remote places, and irrespective of an educational background, I think everybody has an access to social media.
Yeah, social media, that's that's a double-edged sword, right? So you get a lot of information on social media, you can stay right at home and get whatever you need, you don't have to go through the pain of all this. But there is an issue in here. If you've not understood about fake news, welcome to the world of social media, right? You can open your WhatsApp account, you have millions of groups, and you keep getting information about a candidate, a particular constituency. It could be true, it could not be true. So that is what fake news is. Believe me, the level of advancement in fake news is unbelievable. There are videos out there done by artificial intelligence which can make you believe that a particular person has actually said it with lip syncing and body movements, and you will be amazed to find out that the person has never spoken those words. So how do you make sure you don't fall into the trap, and how do you don't become a prey? Well, there are a few websites which necessarily help you. I personally like a couple of them. There is one called factchecker.in, F-A-C-T-C-H-E-C-K-E-R, factchecker.in. What you can do is go to this website, and whatever famous news items that you would have got on your WhatsApp, you can go and check. And this particular website has done a complete analysis trying to figure out why it's a fake video, and will tell you and provide you with the right evidence to make sure that you don't fall trap for that. There is another website called boomlive.in, boomlive.in. Here too you will find that a lot of fake news is being trashed with a lot of evidence. So use these two particular websites for now. Actually, WhatsApp came up with a brilliant measure last week. It came out and told that if you have a WhatsApp account, and if you got a particular video or a news item, all you have to do is forward it to a particular phone number on WhatsApp, and WhatsApp will privately message you back saying whether this particular news item is A, true, B, false, C, misleading, or under dispute. But what some of the websites in India have found out is that this is not particularly useful so far. If they have tried messaging the particular number, I'll tell you what the number is later on in the video, they haven't got a response yet. And WhatsApp later confirmed that this is not fact-checking provision. This is not the purpose of it, and they're just doing this for research. So hard luck, we still don't have any such service from WhatsApp, but use the other two websites for this service. So friends, before I conclude, I just want to tell a couple of things. The way this whole election debate has happened in the last few years, we are divided between the left and the right. We're divided between BJP and Congress, and Narendra Modi and Rahul Gandhi. I would recommend, in fact, to forget about all this and move across the border. Whichever side you're supporting, go across the border and learn about the other side. Only then will our knowledge be enriched and we can make a better decision. So if you are one of those who supports the current government and feel that they've done wonderfully well, I would recommend that you go and read websites like Scroll and Wire.in, and they have done amazing analysis as to what is really wrong with this government and where they have had their failures and what can be better if they don't come back into power. However, if you're one of those who think that this government has not really done well and has had a huge amount of failures, then I would recommend you to read the Swarajya magazine for one, and they have done great amount of work and trying to tell you that this government has had amazing amount of achievements and probably provided the best democratic rule that we've had in the last few decades. So read about both, know about both sides, and then make a call. But if you keep talking about the left and right, I'm sure very soon enough we won't have anything left to be right about. That's the whole center of this argument. So make sure you know about everything before you go out and vote. And one final thing, there was a recent study done by the World Happiness Report, and they have found that not all countries which do economically well are always very happy. The people inside those countries not very happy with the governments. They don't have the exact freedom that they always want. India is one of the 43 countries among the 125 that they found over the last decade that has had amazing amount of economic activity and growth. People are having more money to spend. That's brilliant. But what about the freedom? Freedom of speech, freedom to tell wrong about the current government, anything you may like. And are they really satisfied? Well, in that aspect, they have gone down in rankings over the last decade. We don't want to be in that category, do we? So before you go out and vote, make a note as to what you really want this country to be. Just an economic superpower, or also a true free democratic country, and then go out and vote. If you have any comments, any suggestions, any queries, you can put in the comment section at the end of the video, and we will be giving you all the different data points and the data sources that we have mentioned in this video at the end of the video. Happy voting and be a responsible voter. Thank you.